Alright guys, welcome back to another recap. Today kind of just seems like a scratch day. Momentum wasn't there at all today. We had it there the last 2 days. Today was kind of slow. Things weren't moving along. There was one stock that ended up moving along later in the day, lower volume, and I actually didn't trade it at all. Some very clean setups on the 5-minute chart, so I'll point it out, but I did not trade it myself. But I did trade 3 stocks today, even some of the large cap stocks. So everything was so slow, I decided to take a look at Tesla. And I took a loss. Now I will say today I had 2 good entries on VERU, and I was sitting about $200, $300 profit on both of those. And I never grabbed profits because I wanted VRU to go up to $17 and then 17.50, which was a high recently on the 180 chart. But I didn't take profits, and therefore I came back and I only made $17 on those. So I guess it could have been a decent day, but I botched it myself. So let me show you guys the trades. Alright, so here is VERU, and let me show you the trades that I took. Like always, guys, if you want to watch me trade live, hit that notification bell, hit subscribe, and I go live 15 minutes before market open right here on YouTube. Or you can go over to tradecaster.com, where the majority of the people are watching me, and the chat is a little bit more active. But with that being said, let's get into the recap. So on VERU, it had a very nice opening. It wasn't even a gapper, so I don't think a lot of people were watching it. But then I did notice that on the 180 chart, we're kind of right under that 1750, which is the all-time highs, and we are holding in this level. And then today started opening up right away after the break of this downtrend, kind of right here. You can see it right there. So it started opening up, and at this point I was like, if we're right here and open up to $17, and it'll take us to 1750 to a new high, and maybe 18, 19 if it's possible, if we get there. So when I saw that in the room on the 180 chart to keep going higher, I thought, okay, I'm gonna accumulate a couple of shares down low, buy the dips, and then ride it from whatever this is, $15, $16 all the way up to 17, 17.5, sell some there, and if we get a new high of day all the way up to 18, 19, maybe I can still carry some shares. So that was my mind, my play that I wanted to. So I saw VRU. Actually, this was a pretty good ad. Let me show you guys what I saw. Let me mark it here. No, that's not it. This is pretty cool. This is the way I was able to find this ad real quick. This one. Yep. So if I look at this pivot here on the 180, the last high, the most recent high we had was right here at this candle at 1580. It looks like 1579, 1580, and I marked that right away. And this is the opening range that we had, so we squeezed right over 1518, and then when I saw that it pulled back to 1580, I immediately thought to myself, if this was a previous high, this might serve as support, and now this might be our support zone here to see if we hold it for the next move up to $16, 16.50 and 17. So when I immediately saw volume come in, stock rips through that level. As soon as it pulled back, I started averaging in on this play. I guess I had a one ad on this one, 500 shares at 1586. It looks like my price was, so I guess I have a low here of 1578 on that red on my line, and I bought it at 1586, anticipating the break of this high of day today, which was 1618. Pulled back, I averaged in, I held through that pullback there as well, and then it actually started coming back up. And here I took some profits. You can see I took 100 out at 1630, so even over the new high of day. So I took them out up here at 1630. But remember, I was looking for 1650, 17. I wanted this stock to just gap and go, you know. Well, actually, it wasn't even a gap, but I just wanted this stock to squeeze. So out of 500, I only took a fifth of my position now, and I ended up holding it. And then I know on GOVX yesterday, the same thing happened in the morning. Let me see if I can actually show you guys, just to know how things repeat themselves, and I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. So on yesterday, GOEV, you could see it's a very similar pattern. It's not gonna let me zoom in, is it? There it is. Very similar pattern. Rip, I added on this dip here, and then on the curl back up on this stock I was up $600 there. And on this one, yesterday I decided to wait all the way down, and I did take some profit there, but I ended up stopping out like way down here, and I ended up making, I think, less than 30, 40, $50 on this trade, even though I was up 600, because I let this red candle pull back and then I let the next candle form. So today, having that in mind from yesterday, I immediately did not want that to happen, so I just immediately got out of that trade and called it a loser on that very first red candle. Didn't let it pull back, which in this scenario actually would have worked, because that 1578 still was holding as support. I wouldn't have known that, so I didn't want to make the same mistake twice, and I let it go. But I was up on this one, the $200, $300 up here. And then I was looking for that 1618 to break and hold. So that is our resistance right there, 16. We spiked over on that one, but we never closed above it. You see that green candle came back and tucked all the way underneath, and then this candle right here also flushed down. So this was the first candle to close above that 1618. So this is my micro pullback strategy. I'll take that next trade right there. Looks like I played this one a little bit more aggressively again. In 1,000 shares, looks like I bought at 32. So the bottom of that candle is 28. So I missed it by 5 pennies. But the high of this candle is 60. So I'm already up close to 30 cents on 1,000 shares, which is about $300. So at the top of that candle again, I was up another $300. And I decided to wait. I mean, I thought 1630 hit. I thought 16. I mean, not 1660. I thought 1650 hit. We squeezed 10 cents higher to 1660. And I thought, okay, $17 is next. If this pulled away like that, this one might too jump up to 16.78. And now we're looking at $7, and I will hold those shares. If I'm in at 16.30 with 1,000 shares, by the time I hit 17, I'm up $800 on that trade, $700 on that trade. So I decided to stick them out as well. I put a stop loss. Came back down. That candle didn't close very well, so I decided to call it a red trade, or a break-even trade pretty much. Looks like I sold at 16.34 and bought at 16.32, so I made about a penny on those trades. And then I re-entered here for that break of 1680, bought the same thing here. So this is our next pivot here. Finally get one candle to move through it, bought the next market pullback. Looks like this one I should be taking a loss. Yeah, so I took 1,000 shares again at 16.58. Looks like this time I didn't want to mess up, so I took profit on that push to the top side. So made about 15 cents on those from 16.58 to 16.73. And then I didn't put a stop loss. Looks like I stopped out down here for a loss, and that is probably where my profit was taken away, because I was definitely up after these. And then I lost some on that one. So after that, I had no interest in trading the stock. I knew that if it wanted to squeeze, it could have done it here, and it kind of did it here. At that point, it did in 2 tries that it won't squeeze. I think shorts are just taking control and realizing that the stock is weak, and so they'll come in and short it. So I left that one alone. After that, I took a trade on Tesla. And I mean, I was just keeping an eye on Tesla. I think Tesla had a little bit of a down pressure, and I thought Tesla should have gone down today, but obviously I was wrong. But because I was short biased on Tesla, I drew a trend line here, and I was like, I'm not going to jump in just anywhere up here or anywhere down here. I'm going to wait to see if I break that trend line, retest it, and then take a trade short on Tesla to see if we get a fade through VWAP, down through VWAP, and then take today's lows out. So I actually jumped in with 10 shares on the short side on Tesla at this break of downtrend and a retest right there. And I mean, the next minute it squeezed me out, and I know that this is that trend line. So the second it comes back and retests that trend line, or not retest, the second it comes back and breaks that trend line to the top side, I'm gonna cut that trade out and call it a loser. So I stopped out right there on that green candle, $52 loss. So this is why I went from that $70 profit to down to negative 30 profit on the day. And then here I didn't take any trades for a while. Market was really slow. I just kind of assumed today was going to be a botched day, a scratch trade day, no trades pretty much. And so I kind of waited patiently, and what was it? SFIX started rallying. Another low volume mover. So I really didn't have that much interest in it, but it ended up coming right back up to a high of day. One of my members on chat was able to call it out, like literally right in this area. So thanks to that guy, because I wouldn't have made these $100 out and I would have been red. So definitely come watch his live. So he called it out high of day, and I looked at this candle here. For one, we reversed and kept making higher highs, higher lows. Then we get a one nice candle, engulfing candle with better volume to right up to new high days. So without thinking, I pressed the buy button immediately on this one. Like the second I looked at the stock, the second I saw it, I clicked the buy. I don't know if I didn't realize that I only had 1,500 shares. I probably would have taken a little bit more. This is my bread and butter high of day breakout. Just scalp it real quick. Higher shares, take a little bit right away. So I only played it with 1,500 shares. Looks like I got in here at the bottom of this candle, 611, and I bought in at 611, and immediately popped up. Was able to sell some at 618. That was the majority of my sales, or actually so sold 627, 619, and 613. So some of those shares I got 16 pennies off of them. Some I got 8, and some I got 2. And then it looks like I put a not a stop loss, but looks like I ended up stopping out right there for the remaining 300, which I was okay with because this candle closed low, and then that red candle is hugging this bottom low as well, and not like it's trying to keep moving higher. So I ended up getting out, and I think I made the right call on this one, which that high right there has been holding all day long. So held there, held there, held these two, and then held here again. So pretty key level resistance there. But that was it for me today. Pretty slow day. Finishing the day up $70. So $70 I can lose or make in any trade any day. So it's not like today is a good day at all. Coming off of yesterday's, I'll take a small green day today. Yesterday making 1,000, so kind of still keeping that streak for today, and then tomorrow trade again, trade another setup. Now for the two setups that I did miss, for one was this one. So if I look at the 5 minutes on SFIX, I didn't pay attention until that top move, right? So I didn't pay attention until here. But if you were to look at a 5 minutes, you could have seen this pivot here of right there. So you could see a pivot because it's resistance, and you try it again, it's resistance. Now, how do you know it's a key level? Because the second that key level broke, it made a nice squeeze, right? And I wasn't seeing the stock yet. It made a nice squeeze through it and then pulled back all the way to that level. If you look at the 5 minutes, it pulls down to that level. I mean, it's off this. The low of this candle is 84, and the high of this candle is 82. So by 2 pennies is off. So maybe you didn't get an entry by 2 pennies, but you could have maybe bought in on it 2 pennies higher just to get filled and be on this play. But right there, pulls down to that level, pulls down to the 90 MA, still above VWAP. You could have entered that trade and had a tight top stop of 10, 15, 20 cents. And you would have gotten a nice trade from 870s, from 580s, sorry. I don't know why I said 870s. From 580s all the way up to $6, 30, 40 cents, and then 630. This one, there was not another setup, so the next setup ideally would have been for this candle, the one that I was in on, to close higher and then use this previous resistance as support. So you should have been closed high, pulled back to here, and then ripped on that one. So no trades on that one after that move, so which is why I took my profit. And then the one that did look pretty clean is RYTM. Even now it's holding that level. So 5-minute pullbacks, right? Here is that first pivot right there. If you were to add down into this area here and had a 10, 15, 20 cent stop, you would have cleared it. You would have made this next move, and then on this next move, same thing. Here's that resistance. Draw your support. If you would have came back and bought in here with a 10, 20 cent stop loss down here, you also would have gotten a nice move. And even here again repeats itself. There's that resistance, pulls up, drops down to it. You could have bought in here with a tight stop, and you also would have gotten another move. And then this same resistance here of that 824 is actually the one that's holding for the rest of the day. So as a matter of fact, this is about to take a new high of day. So let me see this real quick. I might take a trade live, maybe. There, so this is that strong resistance here, and you could see that it's still held all day. Pulled back to it, retraced, pulled back to it, pulled back to it, and retraced. So this stock is looking pretty strong right now. I wasn't planning on trading, but if this opens up back up to new high day, I might take a trade and take a stab. Your next target would be $9 up here. That would be your next target on this play. But that's it for this recap. So seeing those 5-minute bull flags forming was pretty cool today to see how these stocks really respect those support and resistances, as the day is just trading just a day. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this recap, and I will see you guys tomorrow during my live streaming on YouTube, Tradecaster, or on tomorrow's recap. So appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you guys sticking all the way to the end. Make sure to hit like, subscribe for any, and then comment any videos, ideas, or any questions you guys have. So with that being said, guys, I will see you tomorrow.